weekly read from the 16th to the 22nd of March. I'm working with my second edition of the Sacred Geometry Healing cards. There'll be a link to it below, as well as a link to my liquid alchemy in a bottle, which are my high vibrational elixirs. There's also a link to the next workshop I have going on the 18th of April at Healing Delight, which is a guide to working with the Sacred Geometry Healing cards. And in the past running this, it's been an awesome workshop, and it's for anybody to join as well. It doesn't matter if you have some experience or no experience, is what I actually mean. The last thing is that the other element of my business is Seed of the Soul, and I've got my next tour to Egypt, which is the Seeds of Kemet tour, back in October, November of this year. I understand right now there is this pandemic and it has put a lot of things to a halt, but I'm still putting this out there because I don't believe at that point in time, and as I saw that it was 111 on the timer, that this is still going to be an issue at that point in time. And I tell you what, if you haven't been to Egypt, or even if you have been but you want to experience it in a different way, this is the tour for you. Links are below. So before I actually shuffle the cards, there's a couple of things I'd like to say, because I've looked at the cards, and the card on the bottom is vitality, and I really feel it's pertinent to talk about this because now that I look, the card underneath it, I actually just feel I don't even need to shuffle them, is Raven Magic as well. So looking at vitality is saying it's so important right now to keep your energy levels up. It's important to maintain balance, important to maintain your whole self holistically, your mind, body and soul, because it's really important that we keep our immune system strong. There are a number of ways we can do this. It's by, I'm actually going to say the first, is working with our breath, because fear sits in our lungs, and sorrow and grief. And I think with what's going on at the moment and a lot of fear mongering that is around us, that it's really important to be very mindful and concentrate on the breath. So breathe it in. I like to say breathe in the good shit, breathe out the bad shit. And meditation, really eat healthy foods, be eating a lot more fresh food is really, really important. If you still can, wherever you are, go for a walk, or just spend some time out in your own garden if that's what you need to do, and still exercise if you're able to still maintain that in any which way. And I'm going to take the Raven Magic because it is about releasing fear and heightening intuition. And as we've been saying for so long and coming through in all the readings, is how there is such a radical shift of consciousness. And it is absolutely true and absolutely pertinent now with what is going on in the world, because this is happening for a reason. And yes, there are many, many things that I could say about it, but I feel what I do want to say from my perspective is that there has to be some major shifts, and we need to see this shift on a global level, because what people will start to understand, the more you shift in consciousness, the more you become aware, you raise your vibe, your intuition, is that we are all connected. So it has to start, and just as we get sick, just as we get the flu, or we do get bronchitis, or some other form of disease or illness, it's there to also stop us in our tracks sometimes and say, hey, it's time to slow down. Really slow down. Start to become more mindful of what you are doing, because we are living in a society that is so fast paced right now that nobody has time for anything. And it's about, come on, we've got to actually step back and start being more mindful and start understanding that our body is our temple. And interesting in saying all that, like seriously, the 741, it's time to release all that which no longer, which you no longer need to carry as a baggage, as an emotional weight. It's time to let it go. It's time for the new to come in. It's so, so important. And look, I could keep going. Believe is also there at the bottom of the deck. What's also interesting is that vitality is a 47. 4 plus 2 is an 11. And when we look at the 741 card, it's a 29. 9 plus 2 is 11. So what is it telling us? This is about foundational work. When we take the 1111 in that respect, we look at our foundations. We look at new beginnings. And the middle card, Raven Magic, is a 6. 6 is all about a family and love and connection. And it's so, so important because we are expanding. Our world is expanding. Not only do we expand as an individual, but as we expand as a collective. And not only does that expand, but so does our world. And it's as above, so below. It is the law of correspondence. It's one of the 7 hermetic principles. Expansion is inevitable, and it's going to happen. And it's up to us whether we're going to grow with it with ease and grace, or we're going to grow in hardship and we're going to be stagnant, because the more we do that, the harder it is it's going to be to shift the shit, honestly. And again, 10, unlimited potential. It's a number 10. It's another 1. 1 plus 0 is a 1. Look how many 1s are here. This is all about fresh starts, new beginnings. It's all about working on our foundations. And this one here, unlimited potential, is consciously creating our reality. We can create anything we choose to do, but when we stop, when we consciously make a decision to change our thought patterns, to change our behaviors, to become more adaptable, because my word actually for this week is adaptability, or has been for the last week. We can be strong. That is not a problem. But, you know, strength is not enough to get us through. We really need to start to adapting to changes, and these changes are here. The changes are now. Just one thing, going back to the vitality card, one of the crystals which you can carry is garnet, and this is actually the underlying structure of the garnet crystal. So if you do, garnet is all about the life force and will help with your energy levels. So garnet is wonderful. Oh my goodness. Okay. These cards are brilliant, and I'm absolutely loving them, and I love the way they come through, and the messages that are there are just, it just all makes sense. We are going through an ascension period. Call what you will, it doesn't matter. We are going through a radical shift of consciousness. Those who are already aware of that, it's happening more and more and more. And it does, you know, I want you, and I said before, it's about, even with the fear, it's about feeling it. You've got to feel into it. You've got to feel the vulnerability sometimes, but you've got to keep going. Don't let it surpass you. It's not there to win, because what is the most important of everything is love. Love is what will hold us together. Love is the magnetic force, the electromagnetic frequency of love is huge. And when we each can take that bit of love and we can allow it, we feel it within and allow our cups to overflow, we are then allowing ourselves to share it with everybody around us, not only with those around us, but giving it to our earth, giving it to the cosmos. And this is about our ascension. This is about working with the Merkaba. I actually have a beautiful Merkaba meditation that can go with this. Absolutely beautiful. And when I look at it too, so I'd like to say that I'd like to offer one of the healing techniques I've really come back to working with is Palawa, which is a radical shift of consciousness. And I can do this on Skype. You do not need to be in my presence for us to do this healing work. And it's a number 4 in my cards. So the number 4 again is working on our foundations. I mean, again, how pertinent is that? The bottom of the deck, far out. I have to do this. The bottom of the deck is Awakening. This is the sacred card. We are going through massive, massive, massive shifts right now. And you know what is so beautiful? The card is a 0. Now, for expansion to occur, what do we need? We need to start. It's all about the art of numbers, isn't it? We start with a 0, and then we get the 1, the 0 and the 1. So vitality, 4 and 7 is an 11. 741 expression 29 is an 11. Our unlimited potential is a 10, which is a 1. We've got the zeros, we've got the ones. This is how nature expands through number. It is called Fibonacci, and this is Fibonacci. My cards are showing you this is how the nature expands. This is how we expand. This is how we grow. And when we actually delve into the, we work with whale medicine, and when we delve into the knowledge and wisdom that lays within, oh my God, can you imagine the new beginnings? Look at this, Genesis pattern. This is all about new beginnings. So this week is not about fear. Please release the fear. Look at it, look at the polarity, the duality. It is, let's look at love, the jewel of love. Let's bring the love in. It's all about, when we look at Awakening, it's the truncated octahedron. When we work with the octahedron, it's all about air, the element of air, and it's working at the heart. So when we truncate it, we have what we call a connection to the earth heart. It is the earth heart connection, and it is absolutely sublime. And you know what? Here we go. Genesis pattern, I kid you not, is an 11. Here we go again. There are more ones on this table than I can count right now. And what do I say? New beginnings are abound. They are here. You are planting the seed, and for everything we are going through, we will, in time to come, we'll look back, we will acknowledge, we will give so much thanks and gratitude, because if it wasn't for what we experienced in the here and now, we wouldn't have the growth that we get either to help us on our journey of self-healing and self-discovery. So let it be the initiation, let it be the activation that is required right now for you, for your growth. Have an amazing week wherever you are, and do watch. My next segment will be Emily's Apothecary, and I will be bringing to you the templates, the elixirs, and some crystals of what it is that you can work with. Okay, bye for now.